Personas, alter egos. We're all using variations of ourselves on a daily basis. And today I really want to put the spotlight on how we do this, why we do this, and how to change your identity, how to change your alter ego to actually get what you want. Embody the end state, because that's what it requires, is putting on a new alter ego. So welcome, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human, here today to help you hack through the jungles of consciousness so you can discover the hidden treasures inside of you. My friends, it's all there, ready and waiting to be activated by you, through you, and for you. If that sounds good, please subscribe. I'd love to have you join us on the channel. And who am I? My name is Jess. I am a manifestation coach and a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, which means I'm a personal trainer for your mind. And I want to demystify all of this and give you practical, applicable strategies to get what you want, to be the person that you want to be, because that's what this is all about. So if you want to work with me, details on coaching are below. Today we're talking about identities. Identities, alter egos, personas. So let's start at the beginning. Class, what are our three faculties? Attention, story, habit. We're talking about habit today. Alter egos or personas or identities are part of habit. They are characters that we play on a daily basis based on context. What is that context? A group of people, a situation, a circumstance. So for example, who are you when you go into an interview? You have a professional identity that you use in an interview. A little more reserved, you have certain answers prepared, you speak a different way, you dress a different way when you show up for an interview. You are a character. Most people have a professional persona. When you look at how you are with your friends versus your parents, do you act the exact same way? My guess is no. There are certain things you don't tell your parents. There are certain things you say to your friends that you wouldn't say to your parents. Again, personas are something that we are all using. And these personas can be slightly different from each other, or they can be wildly different from each other. Personas can also be spontaneous. Think about people who exhibit extreme acts of heroism. They may never have done anything like that before, but something about the situation triggered this deep, heroic persona where they jumped into action and they just acted. They didn't think. They saved someone's life or did some amazing physical feat. They lifted a car off of someone, whatever it was. It can be spontaneous as well. This is the first myth about personas that I want to bust for you. That it has to be hard. It has to be hard to jump into a persona. It's actually ridiculously easy. This is what kids do when they're imagining. When they're like, oh, I'm a chef, I'm an astronaut. They're purely pretending to be these things and going through the motions, exhibiting the behaviors of this person, carrying themselves a certain way. Think about body language and body posture. They speak differently. They use what they've got to flesh out this character. And that's all you have to do when you're embodying the end state. You do the same thing, just like a kid does. This can be a really simple process. When we're really trying to change ourselves, when we come to things like self-concept, this is what we're being asked to change. We're being asked to change our base persona. How do you see yourself as a persona? Who is Sally or Thomas or Rachel? Who are you at the foundational level? What happens for this character, this persona of you? How do their days go? What are their outcomes? What do they deserve in life? When we're asked to change self-concept, we are asked to look at what is your core persona and do you want to make it better? That's always the message, improve it. And so many people are like, well, I don't know how to do that. Again, you're pretending. You're pretending. You can literally jump into a persona in the moment. Remember, it can be literally as easy as just jumping into the shoes of another version of you, which you're already doing all the time and you have been doing since birth. Now, how do emotions come into this? Different personas utilize different emotions. Emotions are a strategy. I always want you to remember that emotions are a strategy. So if a certain version of you, like the depressed version of you, say you're going through a really rough time and this version of you has come out that wants to sleep a lot, it doesn't have very positive self-talk, this version of you probably is using emotion to lure you into the state. It has certain states that it exists in. The depressed you is in a state of depression, of looking very negatively at the world, of not knowing what to do next, confusion. There can be a lot of different emotions. And that's part of the cue of the strategy, is the emotion. Feeling the emotion triggers that depressed version of us. But what I want to ask you is, remember that emotions are just a strategy. They're a strategy that's being offered to you. So if you are trying to then be someone who isn't depressed, who is happy all the time, for whom life is going great, it can feel hard as soon as we feel that emotion of depression not to get lured back into the persona. This is that internal battle that is really the work of manifestation. This is the work, is playing chicken with yourself. You're going to play chicken with these different personas. I want to separate them, not to feel like you're doing battle with them, but you kind of are, because emotion is one of the sneaky ways that old persona is going to be like, come back into the dark side. You'll feel that depression in your body, and then it's so easy to slip back into the depressed stories and the attention of someone who's depressed. You're going to focus on the bad stuff. And don't always believe the emotions that are being presented to you. I know that's contrary advice. I'm sure psychologists would be rolling in their grave right now if they heard me saying this, but emotions are strategies. They're not something to be honored or dug up. If you fall into them, you can fall back out of them again. You can be like, I don't believe that. So just because you're feeling that in your body doesn't mean you have to go along and morph into that persona. And that's when we really can put our foot down, that bigger part of us that's like, no, this isn't who I am systemically. This is just a version of me, and I'm not going to step into that again. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for those emotional traps that it uses to lure me back in. Just come this way. Some personas that I want to identify that don't get us what we want. Don't get us what we want. And I was fully guilty of this. I have been these personas myself, and I saw the effect of them. Do your personas, are they getting you what you want? That's the big question. Are these strategies brought to life through a persona, through an alter ego, getting you to your desired outcome? Some personas do not. They just don't, because of their outlook, because of their perspective, because of the emotions that they're using to try and get what they want. It just ends up in this very cyclical feeling of being trapped. And I've been there. I have been trapped in these. So what are some examples of these alter egos? The complainer. Ooh, the complainer. Feels so good. When you were embodying the complainer, I find that it's really easy as a woman. I don't know what it is about being a woman and then like getting around other women. This side of me sometimes will come out of complaining about life, complaining about what's going wrong, complaining, because that feels like a safe thing socially to complain instead of bragging. Maybe, I don't know. And it's weird. It's this weird alter ego that sometimes I do find myself, I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm going to reel this back. The complainer, addicted to drama and trauma, or trying to bond with other people. Again, there's these subtle ways that these alter egos, the payoff is you do bond with other people. Misery loves company. And when you get together and you bitch with someone, ooh, it's really like satisfying feeling. I used to have a friend when we worked at the last company we worked at, after a meeting or something really stupid would happen at work, we would call each other and complain literally for an hour or two about the situation and point at every little thing that we hated. And it was so gratifying. It was so bonding. That type of misery loves company. So watch out for the complainer. If that is a persona that you're using, again, you may be bonding with someone, but that habit, using that persona consistently, makes it hard to manifest, because it makes it hard to then see the positive, to embody the end if you tend to be looking at the 3D and complaining about it. So that's one persona to watch out for. Another one, the defeatist, aka the worst case scenario. These folks are experts at manifesting. They anticipate the worst case scenario and then they get the worst case scenario. Again, used to be me. This persona can be identified by strong emotional reactions that don't seem proportionate to the situation. Because the worst case scenario person, as soon as they learn of a situation or a challenge or something that has come up, their brain goes to that worst case scenario is now the new truth, and they're reacting to that. And so they may have this huge meltdown over something that seems really small. That is an indicator of this persona. That creates this kind of defeatist attitude of like, it's over before it even started. This isn't a persona that manifests very well. Actually, I take that back. They manifest the worst case scenario expertly. But if that's not what you want, we have to think twice about using this persona. This alter ego doesn't get us best case scenario if we're used to seeing the worst case. The third one I want to talk about of the alter ego is the figure outer or the rationalist. The figure outer or the rationalist, they need the answer. They need the ultimate truth. If I can just figure this out, and if I can crack this nut and just get, this thing and figure it out and understand the ultimate truth of it, then I will be satisfied. Then everything will fall into place. This is the position of a lot of intellectuals who go into manifesting. A lot of smart people love to take this position up because they're used to knowledge gathering, and that cyclical, continuous knowledge gathering that never ends becomes the rationalist, the figure outer. If I can just really understand this, you have everything you need. This one, again, keeps us in cycles of chasing and not having. Because the essence of manifestation is being asked to believe in something unseen. You're being asked to ferret out an unseen reality and put all your eggs in that basket. And that, for the rationalist or the figure outer, that's just too woo-woo. It's too much of a stretch. I want the hard facts. We got to figure this out. We got to crack this nut. I want to see the science. I want to see the proof. I want to see the evidence. So these three personas, watch out for them. I'm sure there are many, many more personas that kind of go against the core principles of manifesting, which is essentially believe in the unseen and invest in it, and it'll materialize in your world. That is what manifesting is. So what are some personas that actually help us? Let's talk about some helpful personas that we can jump into and start to embody today. The visionary. I've alluded to this in other videos, but the visionary, there's different flavors of this. Think of Nikola Tesla, think of the inventor visionary, the one who receives the information from the universe. They see it before it's cool. There's a little bit of an outcast tone to it, like a lone wolf vibe, the visionary. They see it coming. They see it coming down the road. This was one I really leaned into. When I was younger, I would just see the trends before they would happen. And I'd be like, in 5 years, bell-bottom jeans are going to be a big thing again. And then lo and behold, that's what I would see in my reality. I'd be walking through the mall and then the jeans would be on the rack. And I was like, I knew it. When I was growing up, I was like, if there was some job where I could predict the trends, I would totally be a millionaire. We use so many personas throughout our life. Maybe you've had a period of being the visionary. Maybe you've had a period of being an artist or a songwriter, or it tends to be a little more creative, a little more kooky, a little more out there, not afraid to be standing on your own, not afraid to be saying, this is what I see coming. This is how it's going to be. I see it coming in. Whatever flavor it takes on for you, awesome. The second one, the bad guy or the bad girl. Ooh, this is a juicy one. That kind of rebellious energy of being the bad guy or the bad girl is going against the convention of society, being the rebel without a cause, just rebelling for the hell of it. This was one that really served me as a first responder. Now, prior to finding the fire department, I was a good girl. I was a straight A student. I followed all of my parents' directions. Sorry, Mom, I know you're watching this video. But I was a very good girl, persona, brown nosing, friends with all my teachers. Then when I joined the fire department, there was this edge that kind of took over of the bad girl. The bad girl driving too fast, getting into these scenarios where extreme heroism and confidence and courage were required. That good girl persona it didn't cut it. It didn't cut it in this situation where I had to really step up and be this very powerful version of myself. And guess what? The bad girl got it done for me. The bad girl got it done. And how you can lean into this with your manifesting is this defiance, again, of what you're seeing in the 3D of like, that's not how it's going. That is not how it's going. You watch me. Watch this be different, because I know I am the creator. I'm the creator, and whatever I hold in imagination, whatever I nurture in imagination is how this is going to go, because I'm the rebel. I don't care what I see out there. There's this rebellious, success to the bad guy or the bad girl of like, I do what I want and I don't give a flying fig. This kind of detachment from whatever the presentation, whatever the appearance is showing us, this detached, like rebellious, like whatever, kind of flippant, like whatever energy. That's another one you can lean into. Again, I bet you've already used this persona. And the last one, the double agent. This is another good one, the double agent. And this kind of comes back to what I experienced as a teenager, the double agent of being one persona by day, another persona by night, and the secrecy of that. If you've ever seen the movie Salt, I watched it again last night. Love Angelina Jolie in that. But throughout the movie, you never know which persona she's being, which side she is playing, and she keeps everybody on their toes. Go watch movies like that. They're playing both sides to their advantage, and you'll get that sense of the double agent. This can go bad for people when they live double lives, they secretly have two families. They're living their double agent life. This can also go really well if you lean into the power that it has to toggle between two very different personas. There is a book by Todd Herman called The Alter Ego Effect, which is a great book to read if you want to learn more about these personas and how people use them, because so many athletes and celebrities use this exact method. And it starts for them kind of as this double agent thing, where at home they're their normal selves, they use their normal name. And then when they go step on the field, when they step on the stage, they develop this alternate persona, this alter ego of Beyonce or of Tim Tebow, or they develop this really powerful, strong version of themselves that can deliver in the moment in these huge public arenas where all eyes are on them. And it's this double agent thing until one day the normal version kind of goes away. It fades away and they become the celebrity 100% of the time. But that is the initial strategy, is just recognizing that I have this alter ego that is totally different, has totally different skills that I'm stepping into in order to do big, amazing, incredible things. So this isn't a new concept. Go check that book out. I'll link it below if you want to read it, because it's a really eye-opening read and tells you detail by detail how to form a new persona. The last thing I want to leave you with is that you may feel imposter syndrome at first. In developing a new persona or a new alter ego, you may feel imposter syndrome at first. And that is just the spatial quality of going somewhere new on your mental map, of inhabiting a new place on your mental map. Just like these athletes and celebrities, they probably felt very out of place calling themselves whoever they were at first. It felt like an act. You practice until it becomes normal. Once you normalize it, that imposter syndrome goes away because you're laying down the neural pathways, the neuron connections for it to be normal. You're habituating the alter ego. You're habituating the character until it becomes second nature. And then when it does, it almost feels like this entity on its own that runs automatically, because it is. So at first it may feel a little weird, and that's okay. Or it might not. I don't want to give you any limiting beliefs. You got this. If you need a tool to help you recondition your mind, create a new environment up here, and start to silence this little guy, check it out below. This tool is available in every one of my videos for free. It's what I used to reprogram myself and shed alter egos that really weren't serving me, including some of the ones I mentioned today, including one of feeling like I wanted to destroy myself, the self-destructor. That's another alter ego we could probably get into. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Drop a comment below. I'm happy to engage with you if you want to engage with me, and I'll see you in the next video.